Hey everyone, and welcome back to Whiskey Trek. I'm Jackson.
And I'm Natalie.
And today we're reviewing Old Soul Single Barrel Store Pick. So, usually reviewing store picks isn't always the best idea because obviously every single one of them is different. And usually store picks are more off profile than normal single barrels from that same company. But I think people are realizing that MGP single barrels are just abundant, and some companies might do them better than others. So we're going to check it out today. And also, Natalie likes the name.
I love the name. I don't know really anything else about it, so.
They're based in Jackson, Mississippi. And they almost exclusively, and I don't know if they distill their own stuff. I haven't really looked into them very much either. But they mostly source from MGP, like a lot of companies do. This particular single barrel is their low rye MGP. So that's 75% corn, 21% rye, and 4% malted barley.
Ooh.
This was selected by Total Wine and bought for me by a friend. So if you want a bottle reviewed on the channel, send it our way. We can do a hand-to-hand trade-off, and maybe we'll review it on the channel. Sounds like fun, right?
Yeah, sounds fun.
Yeah, cool. Cheers, Natalie.
Cheers. Ooh.
Yeah, rich and fruity. I mean, pretty typical MGP, but yeah.
True. I smelled it and I was like, wait, is this tequila? Like, that's the kind of fruitiness I got.
You mean lime? I almost only get lime off tequila for fruit.
I see where you're coming from, but
I mean,
wasn't gonna say lime.
Tequila, I don't agree, but tequila does have this spice that comes from the ethanol on tequila that I kind of get off of this. You know, like it smells bright.
Yes, it does. It does smell bright.
Cool. All right. Well, I agree with you there. I don't think this is any older than 7 years old. It doesn't smell super old, even though it's Old Soul. It's light, it's bright, it's fruity. The sweetness that's there are the lighter caramels, the vanillas, none of that like dark char or anything like that.
Yeah, it's barely vanilla extract, but definitely vanilla in general.
Yeah, and it does have a lot of spice because it is barrel proof. This one is 120.4 proof. So not like crazy, but I think you can kind of tell that it's a little bit on the younger side, under that 8-year mark, and it is barrel proof. So it's got a little bit more of a punch to it.
All right, I can't wait to taste it.
Yeah, let's try.
Okay, it's more desserty than I thought it was going to be. More butterscotch comes out, so.
I get a ton of apple.
Ooh.
A lot of apple, a really light caramel. Almost like a fake caramel. It's not real caramel. It's not like that dark, rich caramel.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of tastes like candy. You can tell it's MGP, and you can tell it's a little bit younger MGP because it's got that signature apple note that I get on a lot of younger MGPs. And it does have. There's something about it. It's a little bit nutty, just a little bit. So imagine a caramel red apple with, rolled in nuts. You ever see that at like a state fair or something?
I worked at Six Flags. I saw that all the time.
Yeah. Okay. That's kind of what this is like. It's a red delicious apple. I will fully endorse that, which I hate red deliciouses. And to be honest, apple notes aren't exactly my favorite note to get on bourbon. It's one of my lesser favorite fruit notes on bourbon, although I love Granny Smiths. I wouldn't say I'm in love with it, but I think it's pretty good. Now, the problem comes from, I looked up the price of this, because obviously I didn't buy it myself, and I didn't look up the price until we did a review for it, because that would just not be kind, right? You don't look up the price of a gift someone bought you. But since we were doing a review, I thought it pertinent. This is a Total Wine pick, so it was bought at Total Wine, and the local Total Wine where it would have been purchased sells this pick for $87.
Wow.
Which is a lot for a probably 6 to 8 year MGP pick. I think that's a pretty high price for this, especially because it's not exactly the best MGP.
Anyway, so.
Because it's not exactly the best MGP single barrel out there that you could probably get. Now, I didn't go out and buy a new MGP single barrel for this, but
There's always a but on this channel.
I do have a 6-year MGP 21% rye single barrel proof from another place that sources from MGP that we can compare it against, which I feel like should be a very fair comparison. And it's also around $60 to $70 rather than $80 to $90.
Bring her out.
Now you know why I picked this shirt.
That makes a lot of sense. Mm-hmm.
So let's go ahead and see, how does EverNorth's Bourbon 4 single barrel stand up against this Old Soul? Because theoretically, they should be extremely similar.
Ooh, yes.
Both of them were distilled and aged most of their life in MGP, which is in Indiana. And then, why am I putting that down? They spent most of their life in Indiana and then were transferred to the place that bought them and then bottled by that distillery, aged for however many months or maybe a year or so before bottling at the distillery. So they should be really similar, but I bet you they're not.
I have a sneaking suspicion you're right. So, Whiskey Trek is
EverNorth
EverNorth. Okay, Old Soul
is
this
blank.
Oh, yeah.
Immediately up front, none of that apple, but it is so much richer and sweeter. Cherry, a little bit of grape. It's almost like a higher proof Eagle Rare on the nose. There is a little bit of that MGP sweet nut, but it's very faint, much more faint than this.
Yeah.
It smells more full with less ethanol. And by the way, this is 113 proof, even though it's about the same age. So interesting that they're probably around the same age, but vastly different proofs. I don't know how long this was aged in Mississippi, but I don't think that the EverNorth distillery had this barrel on hand for more than 6 months at most before bottling.
Okay, going back, do you get any toffee, coffee, or chocolate? Just at all?
A little bit of chocolate on the Old Soul going back and
Yep.
forth, like milk chocolate.
Uh-huh.
But I think that's just because the EverNorth is so much more of a fruit punch. All right, I'm going to try the EverNorth now.
Me too. And the fruit continues.
Yeah, absolutely. And the viscosity is increased. It's much more encompassing on the palate, on the tongue. There's a lot more depth of flavor, I think, and it's much more rich. You do get more apple on the palate than you get on the nose for sure. So it definitely tastes a lot more MGP than it necessarily smells compared to the Old Soul. But I think it's just more rich. It's more sweet. It is fruitier in all types of directions. I'm gonna taste the EverNorth one more time because I think I have a note that you're gonna like on here.
Okay.
Have you ever had a true Czech kolache? A pastry with a true fruit preserve filled pastry. Like, so a lot of people call pigs in a blanket kolaches, but kolache from the Czech Republic, like the original kolache, is a fruit preserve filled pastry, and the EverNorth is just that.
So it's a bougier version of a jelly donut?
I guess that's the closest thing, but jelly donuts are nothing compared to kolaches. So.
Well, I've only had a jelly donut, so.
But yeah, it's so fruity, buttery, rich, thick, fantastic. I'm gonna go back to the Old Soul now because you told me to. Yeah, I think actually it got better with the EverNorth like helping it, going back and forth.
I definitely appreciate the differences.
Yes,
back and forth.
For sure. I think the EverNorth is more my palate. I'm not biased at all.
At all.
Nope, not even a little bit. But I will say, I do think it is really unfortunate that Old Soul or Total Wine are trying to sell MGP single barrels for that price. The bourbon market might have high prices right now, but that's kind of ridiculous. I think EverNorth's hitting the market at a really nice price right now. That 60 to 70 mark for these single barrels seems fairly competitive, especially since everywhere else is increasing their prices. So yeah, interesting comparison how two things that seem like they would be exactly the same can taste actually quite different. So yeah, but happy to have the Old Soul. That bright light fruit is interesting, and happy to always have EverNorth. Love supporting them. So check out EverNorth if you guys want. Check out Old Soul if you're interested. I'm sure you could try a sample of it at a local liquor store or Total Wine. So make sure to check them out. Cheers, guys. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe here at Whiskey Trek, and let us know what you think about either of these two brands. And we'll see you next time.
See ya.
Bye.